Saint Blaise came from the province of Armenia and practiced the profession of physician. His life resembled that of the righteous Job, for he was blameless, God-fearing, and kept away from every wicked thing. His virtues earned the respect and love of his fellow citizens to a great degree. For this reason, he was elected Bishop of Sebastea by the faithful people of the city. During the great persecution, he boldly confessed his faith in Christ before everyone. He encouraged the holy martyrs to carry through the good fight with courage. He visited Saint Eustachius in prison before his glorious martyrdom and celebrated the divine liturgy there. Later, he undertook to gather the precious relics of the 5 martyrs with great reverence. He delivered them to the people for veneration and the spiritual strengthening of the faithful. A short time later, he withdrew to Mount Argius and settled in a cave for prayer. There he offered pure prayers to God without any distraction or worldly care. The fragrance of his virtues attracted even the wild beasts to his side. They would come to the entrance of the cave and wait peacefully for his blessing. During the reign of Emperor Licinius, Agricolas was governor of Cappadocia and arrived in Sebastea. His purpose was to arrest the Christians and force them to fight wild beasts in the amphitheater. He sent men to the mountain to find and bring wild beasts to the city. The soldiers reached the area near the saint's cave and were astonished by what they beheld. Lions, tigers, bears, and wolves kept peaceful company with Blaise without any ferocity. They immediately informed the governor, who ordered them to arrest the bishop without delay. The saint received them with gentleness and announced that he already knew of their coming. He had been notified through a divine vision and followed them without offering any resistance. Along the road, many pagans converted to Christ, moved by the serenity and sweetness of the saint. As he passed by, sick people and ailing animals found their health restored in a wondrous manner. A woman presented to him in tears her child who was dying of suffocation caused by a fishbone. The saint healed the child immediately and prayed to God to help all who invoke him for this affliction. Blaise was led to Sebastea and stood before the tribunal with unwavering faith. He answered Agricolas's questions with boldness and condemned the vanity of idol worship. He endured beating with rods joyfully and was thrown into prison without his spirit being broken. After further tortures, he declared to the governor that he did not fear the pains of this world. He was thrown back into prison covered in blood, and 7 women followed him with deep reverence. They gathered drops of his blood that had fallen on the ground to anoint their faces. They considered that blood more precious than any perfume, and the soldiers arrested them at once. The governor threatened them with terrible tortures if they refused to sacrifice to the idols without delay. The women pretended to agree and asked to have the statues brought to the shore of the lake. They said they wished to wash the statues before offering sacrifice, but instead cast them into the depths. Agricolas was enraged and ordered fire, molten lead, and iron combs to be prepared for punishment. He asked the women to choose between tortures and rich garments with precious jewels. One of the women was the mother of 2 children and rushed to throw the garment into the fire. Her children cried out not to abandon them, but to take them with her to glory. They asked to follow her so they might inherit together the kingdom of heaven with joy. The tyrant ordered the holy women to be tied to a stake and their bodies to be torn apart. Yet they remained miraculously unharmed, even amid the flames of the fire. Finally, they were beheaded, while offering fervent thanks to God and to his servant Blaise. Agricolas's efforts to break Saint Blaise remained entirely futile and in vain. He condemned him to death by drowning in the lake, but the saint made the sign of the cross. He began to walk upon the waters and called the pagans to follow him. 68 of them advanced into the waters but drowned immediately in the lake. A radiant angel appeared and called the saint to receive the triumphant crown of martyrdom. Saint Blaise was ultimately condemned to beheading, along with those two brave children. He radiated divine light and offered a final prayer for all who would invoke his help. He besought God on behalf of those who would suffer from illnesses and trials in their lives. The Lord then appeared to him in full glory and spoke words of comfort and affirmation. He announced that he had heard his prayer and that every petition of his would be fully granted. The bodies of the holy martyrs were buried with great reverence by the faithful Christians. They later became a source of blessing for those who gathered every year to celebrate their memory. Saint Blaise is honored as one of the most important healing saints of the Church.